this comes like years and years and years and years later. It's generated really mostly from Phil Lord and Christopher Miller. Okay. Uh, now, you know these guys?
Of course I know. Yeah, everybody knows those guys.
I did some research on them. I wanted to read about them. What I found was interesting,
I feel
Logan.
like I always get them mistaken. I feel like I always used to think they directed that Spider-Man movie, but then they actually didn't. Is that right?
They produced it and wrote it.
Right, didn't direct it.
Yeah.
But
But
they did the
here,
Legos and the
I'm gonna walk you through it.
meatballs.
Can I walk you through it?
Go for it.
I got a little chronology on them because I wanted to understand Lord and Miller more. I'll tell you why. Because I watched the movies and I was like, these movies are fucking great. And
Yeah.
then I went up to look at what else they've directed, and they haven't really directed that much. And I was like, why not? And so I wanted to like learn more about them.
Hmm.
So here's what I learned, Logan. They were both just smart little white boys. All right. And they went to Dartmouth, Ivy League, Logan, Ivy League. And that's where they met. Okay. And they both had comic strips in the Dartmouth newspaper. That's how they met. Isn't that
Wow.
interesting?
It is interesting.
All right. And they really liked each other. All right. And then one of them, Lord, he got some shit in the hands of Michael Eisner, who at the time was the head of Disney. Okay.
Okay, it's big.
Big ass deal. He gets called in for a meeting with Eisner. Lord, who's never partnered creatively with Chris Miller before, but loves this guy. They're like best friends and they like love the same shit. He says to Michael Eisner, okay, but I got to bring my writing partner.
Hmm.
Insane, right?
It
It's like the
is.
nicest thing anyone's ever done for anybody.
And they're not even really writing partners.
No,
Wow.
the thing that Michael Eisner is bringing Lord in to talk about, Chris Miller had nothing to fucking do with.
I gotta say, Lord was always my favorite one.
Well, he's also the nicest one.
It seems that way.
Yeah. All right. So that meeting leads to the television program Clone High, which they do for MTV. They partner up with Bill Lawrence, the creator of Scrubs. He loves partnering up with young writers because the first thing he ever did was Spin City, which he co-created with Gary David Goldberg, the elderly creator of Family Ties. So he likes to pay it forward.
I
All
love it.
right? Yeah. Um, now Lord and Miller get that on the air. It's a hit critically, but nobody watches it. All right.
Hmm.
Uh, but then they get an opportunity. All right. Cloudy with a chance of meatballs. All right. But something happens that I think I see as a consistent thing in their career. These guys march by the beat of their own drummer, Logan. They don't seem to really give a fuck about the studios, and they have like their own little creative muse and they're going to follow it no matter what. And what happens is it leads to them getting fired a lot. And I think
Right.
that's the reason they haven't directed a lot of movies.
I think that that's true. They were
Yeah.
gonna do Han Solo.
Yeah, we'll get to that. So this is the first case I see of them being fired. They do Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. They write the whole thing. They like start producing it and they get fired because it's too weird. But then they bring in another guy and that version sucks. And so
You're supposed
they
to
get
want a boring movie called Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Aren't you supposed to want weird?
you'd think
That's dumb.
Hollywood doesn't care. They don't want anything risky. And anything that's creative is risky because it's something you maybe haven't seen before.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Why
It's a
we need John
terrible way.
Krasinski making all the choices?
I don't know about that one,
He would
buddy.
let all the weird things go through.
Yeah, but does he have the brain to understand what's the good weird versus what's the bad weird?
We'll find out. If you have an
Yeah.
if, go to John.
Honestly, I think we will find out the answer when we all go see If.
Yeah, we'll find out, I guess.
Yeah,
Together.
together. Yeah. Um. All right. So Cloudy, they get brought back on Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. And that comes out, it's a big hit. All right. So now they've got some faith. The studio has some faith in them. So the studio is like, what of our intellectual properties do you want to make a movie out of? And because they're kind of weird, they're they say 21 Jump Street. And they're like, okay, but weirdly, that's already in development with Jonah Hill.
Oh well.
And they're like, fucking killer. We'll make that. And so they like have a meeting with Jonah Hill and tie their ideas together and work together into making this a project that all of them will be creatively motivated to make. Okay. Jonah Hill also at this point has a co-writer named Michael Bacall, um,
Yeah.
who, of course, is the little rat kid from Free Willy who's like, hey, abandon your whale and join our gang.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Amazing. He also sung My Girl in season 2, episode 2 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Some Assembly Required. Everybody loves it.
Yes, of course. Of course.
So okay, they make this movie. It goes great, right?
Yeah.
All right, they make the next movie. It goes great. That then the studio's like all in on them. Lego movie, it goes great. But then they fly a little too close to the sun. They get some intellectual property that's a little too popular.
Yeah.
I'm talking Star Wars. And that's what happens there with Solo. All right. But I think if you look consistently at the stuff they've actually been able to get made over the years, dating back to Cloudy with a Chance and Meatballs to this to Lego to the Miles Morales Spider-Man movies. I mean, they have an insatiable creative appetite as far as I'm concerned, Logan.
I agree. They were some of my favorite people in Hollywood for a few years there. I don't really think about them too much anymore.
Well, they're also, right now, if you want your Lord and Miller fix, I feel like a lot of people are sleeping on their Apple Plus series, The After Party, which is run
Okay.
two seasons now. And that show, they do it's a detective story, like it's a whodunit, but each episode is done from a different character's perspective and in a different genre.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's a great idea, and they direct a lot of the episodes. So I think if you like those guys and you're not watching that show, gotta be watching that show.
All right, maybe I will do that.
There
They're
you go.
kind of like, I mean, they're not because the other guy's so different and better and himself. But they're. I mean, I guess I'm thinking of that because Ant-Man. But they're a little bit like Edgar Wright light. A little bit. They kind of just do their own thing and they get fired off anything they get signed on to.
Yeah, I guess you're right. There are these directors that have like flirted with intellectual property over the years and have just never been able to wrap their hands around it because like they just don't have the brains to like work with these studios. It's like Tarantino. They've announced like Tarantino superhero movies, a Star Trek movie, a Bond movie.
Bond.
Yeah, they never get made because like he can't do that. He doesn't have that in his creative brain.
I think even more props to Ryan Johnson for making his own stuff, but also being able to play the game enough to like
Yeah, but it
just give
kind
them
of
what they want.
like it hurt his career making that movie.
Only because the freaking losers on the internet.
I know, but like I think that's a case of when a guy who does have that kind of brain actually gets one of these things made. Like it ends up causing like weird backlash and shit.
Well, it helped his career because it made him
Oh, I
make
guess you're
whatever he
right.
wanted.
Right. It got him notorious enough at least to like get Knives Out made and shit.
But it ruined his Star Wars trilogy that he had planned,
Yes.
remember?
Yeah, that
That's
got
what it did.
canceled.
Yeah. Which I was excited for, I gotta be honest.
Yeah, I sort of was too, but
I'm
I
more into
don't know.
Dune these days. I don't care
Stop
about
making
Star
Star
Wars.
Wars movies. I'm good.
Yeah, just make
If
Dunes.
they never make a Star Wars movie again for the rest of my life, I'll be fine.
Yeah, give me the Chani movie. I don't care.
Fuck off. The
Stilgar.
movie. I want the Dakota, Idaho movie.
Duncan.
Oh, sorry. Anyway, Jump Street. We're back.
I
Let's
saw
talk
somebody
about
make a comparison. They were like, Duncan, Idaho is a little bit the same name as Denzel Washington. I thought that was a very funny thought.
It's like the white version of Denzel Washington.
Duncan Idaho. It is. I thought that was very funny.
It's so funny. It's like if you told me there was an In Living Color sketch where they had Jim Carrey play the white version of Denzel Washington and his name was Duncan Idaho, I would 100% believe you.
Here's an original. It's like the male Hannah Montana. I guess that rhymes. Duncan Idaho doesn't rhyme, but it's a little bit Hannah Montana.
Hannah Montana. God bless her. Hannah
That's what we're doing after
Montana.
Buffy, guys. Hannah Montana.
Miley Cyrus still dominating at the Grammys.
Oh yeah. She just
Crazy.
won Best Album or
I
best
know. Isn't that wild? Or record or whatever. For what was it? Younger now?
Flowers.
Flowers? Whatever. She's
I don't
got
know what
tons
it
of
was.
great songs.
I love that song. We used to be young. Is that what you're talking about?
Younger now.
Younger now.
I think that's what it's called, but I think we're talking about the same thing.
I know she has used to be young. That was like a song last year.
Is that a whole different song? I think we're
Maybe.
talking. I think it's called Younger Now.
I know she has used to be young. So if you know younger now,
Oh my
she has
God,
two
those are two
songs.
different songs.
Yeah, then she has two songs.
All
about
right.
being young.
Well, I'll tell you what. She knows what it's like to be young. She had a great youth.
She
All right, we
really
all
did.
remember it.
One
She
of the
twerked
best.
at Robin Thicke at the VMAs, and you know, she was naked on a cannonball. I mean, who could beat that?
It's true. It's true.
Yeah. I goddamn love Miley. She's honestly a national treasure.
I'm not gonna deny that. I agree.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You're
All right,
welcome.
21 Jump Street, the movie, came out March 16th, 2012, on a budget of $54.7 million. Okay?
Seems cheap. We should just keep doing them.
I'm with you, man.
Remember they had the
Honestly-
theory Men in Black? We were gonna put these with the Men in Black movies.
We'll save that for the end. Remind me at
Okay.
the end.
I
to
hated
talk
that thought.
All right, yeah, me too.
But I would
remind-
trade it for no movies at all.
All right, remind me at the end though to talk about the 3 announced sequels to 22 Jump Street that were never made.
I thought there were 40 announced sequels at the end of the movie.
Very funny, but in real life, in
Okay.
kayfabe, those are kayfabe.
Okay, babe, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, $54.7 million budget. It made $201.6 million at the box office.
Whoa.
Real big stuff. Came in at number 21 in the
Fitting.
box. Oh, you're so right. That's amazing.
And
All
that'll
right.
never change, right? We don't.
Yeah, no, it's 21 at the box office between
amazing.
Taken 2 and Argo. Fuck
Wow,
yourself.
Argo, fuck yourself.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I wanted to say, do you know how Jonah Hill was already attached to the project when Lord Miller came on?
Right.
I want you to know that Jonah Hill's pitch for director of this was Rob Zombie.
Rob Zombie.
Yes.
Okay. Well, do
I
we know
don't
why?
know what. No,
Okay, interesting.
I cannot explain that, but it leads me to believe that his vision for the film was slightly different than what Lord and Miller ultimately did.
Yeah, it makes me wish that happened a little bit, but I love this movie.
Yeah. All right. Awards. Who's nominated for some?
I imagine so. Were you there, by the way? Did you see this in theater? Did you contribute to that $200 million?
I didn't, Logan. I did not see either of these in theaters.
Wow.
I saw them both on the home video DVD, and but I did love them both. I saw. It's not like I didn't want to see them. Like I just wasn't maybe going to theaters when they came out.
Right. I think same. First one I remember watching on pay-per-view. I think my mom bought it
Wow.
for us. We could buy. I remember the second. The second one. I don't know how I watched it at home though. I didn't watch it in the theater. Same with you.
Yeah,
I wish.
same. I was definitely drunk for both of them.
Oh, you know what
Remember
I was meant to do? Whenever you introduced me, I was gonna go. I guess I ended up going with the spoken word bit, but I was gonna go. My name's Jeff.
From
22
yeah,
Jump
that's good
Street.
stuff.
That was always one of my favorite parts. That's so funny.
It's really funny.
It's really hard picking MVP in these movies.
Oh my God. Can I tell you about what the MTV Movie Awards did? I want my MTV. It's a great segue, honestly. Best comedic actor. Okay. For the first movie, Jonah Hill and Channing Tatum were both nominated. Channing Tatum won.
Okay.
Okay. And then in the second movie, Channing Tatum won again, and Jonah Hill not even nominated. So let me tell
Whoa.
you this. You know how Jonah Hill at some point is like we know he's a piece of shit.
You
He's an
think the
asshole to
MTV Movie
women. He's
Awards did
an
it?
asshole to women. Listen, if you're Jonah Hill and you've looked like Jonah Hill your entire life, and then you're put in a comedy team with a guy who looks like Channing Tatum, and then people consistently agree that that guy is funnier than you, I think I'd
Yeah.
turn into an asshole too.
Yeah, I guess I was a little too hard on him this whole time because I didn't like it either when I was like, oh, he's pretentious. Now he's like losing, he's like thin now. What's this?
And he's
Not
he's a
my
jerk
Jonah
to
Hill.
women, and he's a jerk to women.
Oh yeah, it's the ex-girlfriend, like their like
Yeah,
text that came out. I forgot about that. Yeah, you're right.
yeah.
But yeah, maybe it's a little warranted because Channing showed him up on the comedy side, even though
I
he's 8 times more attractive.
I think that possibly made him more insecure.
Honestly, it's a yeah. I mean, maybe you are right because that is tough. Channing's one of the most beautiful men on the planet, and he's also fucking hysterical. He's like I
Yeah,
always thought he was better Chris Pratt, honestly.
yeah. I It's an interesting take. Chris
I,
Pratt's funnier.
maybe I don't know. I always thought it sucks. Like we gave every role to Chris Pratt, and we kind of forgot about Channing. I think we've talked
Well,
about that
I
before.
also don't think Channing's that interested in this, or he might be another guy who's like creative brain doesn't really work with studios because the things he's actually ended up getting made are shit like Steven Soderbergh movies and stuff. Like, you know, he was attached to like a Gambit movie for Marvel forever, and that seemed like a project that was like a can't miss. Like if you can get that made, Channing Tatum as Gambit, it's probably going to be a hit. But like they could not get it made.
No.
And I think it's just like Channing's one of these dudes who's kind of a little weird.
I mean, you're saying he doesn't want to do that kind of stuff, but he was attached to the Gambit movie.
No, I'm saying like he wants to do it, but he wants to do it in his own way.
Hmm.
And I think like his way is like Lord and Miller just like doesn't really connect with what studios expect from these kinds of movies.
I think though, if we told Channing like Chris Pratt's gonna keep doing Star Lord, you are gonna be the Jurassic World guy. Like not take over now, but if like originally, I think Channing would have could have done that. He could have been the
I
Jurassic
think he
World.
would have been absolutely great. I think he would have been better in see. All right. Channing Tatum is better at taking a generic hero role and adding nuance and fun to it than
Yes, White
Pratt
House
is.
Down, for instance.
He is much better at that, but Pratt is better at straight comedy.
I think that is true. Yes, they mentioned White House Down in one of these movies. I think
They
it's the
do
second one. They're
it
like, we can
because
go
he did.
undercover to the White House.
Yeah, he did White House Down between Jump Street movies, and
That's
so they
true.
reference it in 22 Jump Street.
You know what else we mentioned? We mentioned Tokyo Drift in the next movie, and that's only because that Ice Cube's daughter was in Tokyo Drift. Apparently,
I didn't even think about that.
I
I
noticed
thought
that
he
on her
was just making
IMDb.
a fun reference.
Yeah, I thought that too, but then I kind of thought, and I was like, well, they did the White House Down thing, so who's to say they're not just making funny jokes they want to make?
I knew Ice Cube's daughter from like five different TV shows that none of them lasted more than two seasons.
Oh man, I thought
Yeah.
she was really cute and charming. Apparently, she was in
She's
Fired Up
fine.
also. I didn't remember her
Yeah,
there.
yeah. She's perfectly fine, but like for some reason, like she keeps getting on these shows. I watched her in this rom com with like Damon Wayans Jr. I watched her on this show Ghosted with Adam Scott and Craig Robinson, where she was the
Hmm.
female lead. Like there were a whole series of shows for a while, and like none of them really worked.
Well, she's out there.
Yeah, she's working.
She's doing it.
Yeah. All right. Well. Oh,
But anyway, the first movie, first movie.
can I MTV Movie Awards? Can I do the
Right,
rest
right,
of
right, right.
those?
Sorry.
All right. All right. I was actually wrong about this one. Like he did lose to he wasn't nominated the second one and Channing won, but they lost in this one to Melissa McCarthy and Bridesmaids.
Oh, interesting. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Here's a weird fact about this movie. What if I told you this? Would you believe me? that at some point LMFAO won an MTV Movie Award on behalf of 21 Jump Street for Best Music just for the song Party Rock Anthem being in this movie.
I believe that. Yep.
Well, you're right. It happened. Uh, Johnny Depp was actually nominated for Best On-Screen Transformation for, wearing those prosthetics and shit. But he lost
Okay.
to Elizabeth Banks for Hunger Games.
Oh, I love
Um,
that. That's a good choice.
yeah. Here's a crazy award that they probably only did this year. The most gut-wrenching performance.
Gut wrenching. Okay.
All right.
I'm gonna
Rob
go Dobby from that Harry Potter movie. Was that this year?
Rob Riggle was nominated for getting shot in the nuts.
Yeah.
That's gut wrenching. But he lost
What does that mean?
to
Funny?
no. Get it? Gut, like your guts. It's all piss and shit jokes.
His penis came off?
But the winner was Melissa McCarthy
Yeah,
for
pooping in
shitting
the.
herself in the
Ugh.
wedding dress.
Fine, fine, fine. My favorite Rob Riggle part. I like the part where he tries to pick it up with his mouth. That's actually my favorite part.
That's good. This was nominated for best fight.
Okay.
And it lost to something in the Hunger Games. Channing Tatum was nominated for Best Hero, but he lost to Daniel Radcliffe for playing Harry Potter in the last Harry Potter movie. I guess that's understandable. And they also lost Best Cast to Harry Potter because I guess they wanted to reward them for
Is the Avengers this year? I would have thought that would have won something.
Avengers is summer. MTV Movie
Uh,
Awards I think are in June, so
Probably
they
same
run
with
on a
Dark Knight
weird
Rises.
schedule. Yeah, you're probably right.
All right, well, fair enough. Good job to them.
All right, bruh. Nominated for one People's Choice Awards. The people's make it the choice.
Yeah, sure
Up
do.
to the people to choose as they see fit. People choosing the People's Choice Awards, the choice awards for the people. All right, so Ted won Best Comedy,
Oh, that's
unfortunately,
a
but
good one.
this was nominated.
I like Ted.
All right, Teen Choice Awards.
It's the teen choice award.
One of Henry's laziest compositions.
What?
I'm sorry.
Really? I thought
believe
that
so.
was like it's the teen. That's not that lazy.
Yes, I think so.
Teen choice. That's not that lazy.
Award. Yeah, I guess that's
He's
pretty
not
good.
way lazier.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Like,
I'm sorry. How dare you? That's his most complex.
But that's lazy. That's pretty lazy.
That's his most complex.
Really?
All right.
I don't know.
Yeah, the Teen Choice Awards. This won Best Comedy at the Teen Choice Awards.
Great.
All right.
That's what I would have voted for.
And of course, Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill both nominated for Best Comedy Actor at the Teen Choice Awards, and of course, the winner, Channing Tatum.
Yep. There he goes.
Boy, oh boy. All right, let's talk about it. The Jump Street. Oh, I want to say also just a fun fact about the MTV Awards. In the year 21 Jump Street was nominated, they gave a Lifetime Achievement Award to Robert Downey Jr. And in the year 22 Jump Street was nominated, they gave a Trailblazer Award to Emma Stone.
Wow.
And both those people just won Oscars the other night.
That's amazing. Also, at
Yeah.
one point, Mom talks about how she went on a bender with Robert Downey Jr., right?
Yeah.
She was like, I used to party
back
with
when
him.
he was fun.
Back when his fun days. Now he's boring. Winning Oscars. Oh, yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. So there you go. Both a shout out there.
All right, so this movie straight up starts with the real Slim Shady.
Yeah, the not so Slim Shady, they call him. He calls Jonah
Oh.
Hill not so Slim Shady. I thought that was hilarious.
It's funny too, because like this is the size I wish Jonah Hill stayed.
Right.
Because he's like too thin now, but there was a time he was unhealthily fat. Like you
Like
go back and
Moneyball. He is.
you go,
he's
yeah,
pretty
you
big
go
then.
back watch Moneyball, Funny
It's
People.
only a year earlier.
He is too big in those movies. All right, it's scary. This is the right size for Jonah Hill. Should've
Right.
stuck here.
I didn't even think about it that much. Yeah, like we knew him before those days, like super bad. He wasn't that big, but then
He's
he got
big.
really
He's
big.
a little too big in Superbad, but then he gets
Superbad?
even yeah, but then he gets even bigger.
Yeah, he gets
All right?
bigger. He got like
he gets
scarily
scary
big.
big. Yeah.
Yeah, and now he's too tiny. But back in these
Right.
jump streets, he's kind of the perfect size.
Exactly. He's bulky still. He can still play this type of role,
He's, yeah, really
but
still can be
he's
funny.
healthy. He looks normal. Looks happy.
Yeah, good point. Especially in the first one, I think. I think in second one, I don't know if he was like too big or too small, but first one, just right.
It's like the Goldilocks. All right.
Exactly.
All right. So yeah, we get high school flashback with the Tate, Channing the Tate,
Hmm.
and Channy the Tate. Is that what I used to call him?
I think just the Tate. I think you're making
Just the
stuff up
Tate.
about the
Oh,
Channing,
okay.
of course.
Okay. All right. Well, the Tate is with Jonah Hill. They're in high school,
That's
right?
right.
It's 2005.
Right.
Right. So then this is like we go 7 years later. So how old are they supposed to be in this movie? Like 23?
20. I don't think so. I think so. Say they're like 17, and then we
Yeah.
go like, yeah, 24, 25.
We'll even let him be 16, maybe.
All right, so 23. Say they're 23, 24.
All right, all right. That makes sense. So then in the next movie, they're like 26,
26.
27. That makes sense. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Tell me what you liked and what you didn't like and stuff. Talk to me about the movie. Because honestly, it's always hard for me to talk about comedy movies on this podcast, especially ones I enjoy. And this one isn't really episodic. It's like a series of gags. So it's really coming down to like what you liked and what you didn't like. But what I do want to say about 21 Jump Street is that for a movie based on intellectual property as boring as a cop drama from the late 80s, it is a ceaselessly creative film with a perfectly put together cast,
Mhm.
and I think just consistently makes me laugh. I really like this movie. I do feel like it hews a little closer to formula than the next movie. I think they have boundless fucking creativity in the next movie. But in this one, it's almost like, well, it is a 20, we want it to be a 21 Jump Street adaptation. They feel beholden to that. So it stays within that same structure, and it does take time for references both in like the character names and in the cameos and shit like that. We even see Holly Robinson Pete playing her character from the TV show at one point.
Mhm. Sure. She's the black
All
girl.
right.
I saw her on the show, and then I saw her IMDb, and it said she was in the movie, but I obviously
Did it
didn't.
say she was the black girl? Was that the first line on her IMDb page?
Well, I could. It's the only way I could remember. She's the only one, I think.
Well, of course, it's 1987. You're not gonna have more than one black girl.
Of course.
All right.
So I take it you like the second one, and while I don't disagree that much, it's definitely bigger and more creative, but I think there are more montages, and it actually is, I think, a little more formulaic in the point where they break up and have to get back together for seemingly no reason. I thought,
Well, because we're doing rom-com tropes. In the
right.
first movie, we're sticking more to cop show tropes because that's what 21 Jump Street is. But because 22 Jump Street, they just have like carte blanche. I feel like they just leaned into
Yeah, they're having an open
the hetero
investigation.
romance. Yeah.
Yeah, seeing other people and stuff. But
Mm.
that's a little. And I think too many montages. I think there's like 4 different montages in 22 Jump Street.
I didn't notice, and it's honestly probably just because I was laughing at them.
Yeah, I think that's probably what it is. You're
Yeah.
right. Yeah. But anyway, 21 Jump Street.
Yeah, say your piece on it.
Well, I actually like the cameos in the first one more than the second one. I thought the second one were a little more annoying.
How do you mean? Like, what were the cameos?
Well,
in
I
the
think
second
I
one?
think I didn't like going back to Riggle and Franco. Maybe
Oh, yeah, it's not necessary, but I did
it's a
think
little
it was
funny.
funny.
Yeah, it's a little funny, but it's not
Although I
necessary.
felt like it was harsh for the Dave Franco character. I feel like there's a lot of empathy for that character in the first movie, like the idea that he just wants to like go to Berkeley and stuff, and he gets caught up in all this shit, and it feels like he's out of his depth in the first movie. So to have him in the second movie getting ass raped by Rob Riggle in prison feels a little harsh towards that character, if you ask me.
Well, he's not getting ass raped. He's getting penis raped by Rob Riggle's vagina.
Oh, that's right.
Rob Riggle has a new vagina in place of his
yeah,
old
and
penis.
honestly, that's what makes it funny. If he was
Yeah.
getting ass raped, that shit wouldn't be funny.
It is definitely more tolerable that he's not getting ass raped.
Yeah,
You're right. You're right.
because making it that Rob Riggle has a vagina, it makes. I mean, it might be a little transphobic. I hadn't
I don't
really
know,
thought of that
but it is
until right
funny.
now.
Riggle's like,
But-
yeah, I'm
but
your bitch.
it
I'm your
makes it-
bitch.
It at
That's
least
funny.
makes it absurdist, you know. So like, it doesn't hit as hard.
Right. It could be a lot worse, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm probably just complaining. Too
I'm with you though. It's probably not the best scene in the movie.
No. But so where do we start with 21? It is tough. We just talk about like the things we like, basically.
Yeah,
you
I
know?
mean, you walk me through some of your notes, maybe.
Well, I like that he can't do the Miranda rights, and he's like, you have the right to suck my dick. That's how he starts out, but then later on he gets the Miranda rights. But I think that's so hilarious. A cop, you have the right to suck my dick. That's just so funny to me.
I was, he knew that you have the right to remain silent. All right. And I was like, I can't believe he doesn't at least know the next one. Because from years of watching cop shows, they don't cut away until like they start saying the Miranda rights, right? And then like maybe the music starts rising and it's fading. You always hear the second one. So I know that one. You have the right to an attorney.
Yeah, and if you can't afford one, you'll be appointed one.
Yes. And they start saying that, right? And then maybe it fades out. You can't hear it anymore. But
Right.
so he should at least know that. I mean, has this guy
True.
never watched like
Anything?
the Rookie?
Yeah.
Not one episode.
Blue Bloods,
Blue Bloods.
Patch
this
mashed
guy
potatoes.
NYPD Blue.
Yeah, it's a little too dumb. But what are you gonna? A Saw movie? They probably have to say you have the right to.
Oh
remain
my
silent
God,
in a
they're
Saw
saying
movie.
that all. Are you kidding me? That is the only thing those Saw writers know about cops.
And then Jigsaw says, "You have the right to be in a saw trap."
Oh.
Du-du-du.
Yeah, and
I
then
don't
he
know.
like the floor collapses and he like falls into a door that he escapes from.
And then he
he's wearing a
closes
cape.
it and says, "Game over," like how
Yeah.
he always says.
Yeah, and he's wearing a cape and a giant book, but it doesn't matter at all.
Right. There's no cult, even though you'd want one to happen.
Fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Remember the needle pit? Remember that one from Saw 2?
Oh, of course. Like the only thing I remember from Saw 2.
I still think about that a lot. Really? That's all you
I remember that, and I remember how green that movie looks.
So that's probably the greenest one, yep.
Oh my God, I was just watching an episode of Melrose Place the other day, and there was like a little girl who had like no lines, and it was Beverly Mitchell from Saw 2.
Who is she?
I don't know. She's from Seventh Heaven. That's how
She
I
a
know her,
blonde?
but she's in Saw 2.
Or is she the blonde or the brunette?
I don't know. She's got a widespread nose.
What color hair does she have?
She's honestly, she had both throughout her career, so I don't know which she had at the time of Saw 2.
In Saw 2, there's a blonde that dies from like just getting the illness from in the air, and then there's the brunette that puts her arms up through this big spike things and can't get her arms out.
I don't remember.
That one's sexy. Her whole thing is like she's a prostitute or something.
I don't think Beverly Mitchell would be playing a prostitute. Like the girl.
She's
from
probably the
Seventh Heaven.
blonde.
Yeah,
I'd guess.
probably.
I don't know. Anyway, you like finger popping each other's assholes? You like that one?
What the fuck was that?
That's the line in the movie where she says, "You
What?
guys were around finger popping each other's assholes," and then Jonah Hill was like, "No, we weren't finger popping each other's assholes."
Oh yeah, yeah. What weird moment from Jonah Hill there.
Meanwhile, you two were standing around, finger popping each other's assholes.
We're not finger popping each other's assholes. What
I don't
we're
know.
doing-
So we throw you like Paul Blart Molly Cop.
Yes. I'd forgotten that Brie Larson was in this movie.
Brie Larson. She was in a lot of. She was in so much stuff when she was young. You'll just like watch a movie and you're like, oh shit, Brie Larson's in this movie.
Well, when I saw 21 Jump Street, I remember that I popped when she showed up because I knew her from United States of Terror. I
Okay.
watched that on Showtime, and I thought she was really good. And I think she's really charming in this. She's great.
She
Brie
is
Larson.
great. Anytime I've seen, which is you know what's crazy? I never saw Room. That's like one of my biggest blind spots ever. I
She's
never saw.
incredible in that. Absolutely incredible.
I know. I gotta watch it. But I agree. I kind of fell off the same time a lot of other people did. I know we went through like a phase we didn't like Brie Larson that much. But anytime I've ever gone back and watched her, I'm like, God damn, Brie Larson. I love her. I love her. I
You
think
know
she's
what, man?
amazing.
I haven't even watched the Marvels yet, man. But like people shit on her. I feel like Captain Marvel is what did it. Like that's when people started shitting on
Yeah.
her. And like I feel like I go back and watch that movie, and it's like a pretty good movie, and she's pretty good in it.
You rewatch Captain Marvel?
No, but like I've seen bits and pieces.
Yeah. Remember I'm Just
Yeah.
a Girl plays? That was fun. I remember that. I don't remember a lot from that movie. I remember the cat.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's a period piece. Takes place in like 1995, so all the
Right.
music's like 90s.
No, so we get No Doubt. That's fun.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's so much No Doubt on the playlist at my job right now, but it's all like like rock steady. It's like, hey baby, hey, and I'm like, God damn it, play good No Doubt.
Mhm. I think they're all good. You like
Hey
Spiderwebs?
baby. Fuck yeah, I love spider webs.
Yeah, that's a good one. Will you like the party? We throw a big party so that we can hack into Dave Franco's phone. You say it's perfectly cast. You like Dave Franco? He's good as like
I love
that
Dave
character.
Franco. Guys, Dave Franco's hilarious. I'm not saying he should be directing horror movies or nothing.
What's he
but
doing?
he's really funny. What? Didn't he direct a horror movie last year, 2 years ago?
What are you talking about?
There's this film called like The Rental. It was a horror film, and Dave Franco wrote and directed it.
Yeah, I see it here. The Rental. That was
Yeah.
4 years ago at this point.
Oh, shit.
2024. Wow. The yeah. All right. I gotta check this out. It's with Allison Brie. So Jeremy
Yeah,
Allen
well-
White, Dan Stevens, Toby Huss.
Alice, he's very lucky to have a talented wife that can help him get some projects made.
With horror experience.
True. Scream 4.
You got tossed off a parking roof,
You
parking
better believe
garage.
it, baby. Found a dead body in Sidney Prescott's trunk. All right.
I thought that we tossed her off the roof.
No. She found a dead body when she was still alive.
Oh, right. But we kill her and toss her off the thing, right?
Yes. Yeah. We're both correct.
Yeah. There's a real world reference at the party. Did you catch that?
Yes, it was fantastic.
Well, of course you caught it. It's pretty obvious. We like doubled
Getting
down. On it.
real. 7 people living in a house.
Yeah, and then they even like bring attention to it. They're like, "Oh, you're mentioning the real world." It's like, what? That's crazy.
That's
That's
very funny.
I didn't. My LVP comes from the party. Okay, you ready?
I'm ready to hear it.
This guy Scott. He comes in from like another school, like from like the rival school, and he's like a bully. And I didn't like him very much. And then we got to the end, and I was
Who
like, I guess
plays
that's my
him?
LVP. His name is Joe Nin Williams.
Where? Joe.
He
this
does
is your-
stunts. He's typically a stunt
He's a
guy.
stunt guy.
But in
is
this
your
movie, he had
LP?
lines, and I didn't like him. I guess that's why.
Well, yeah. I guess he was a poor actor because he's a stunt guy.
Yep, mostly does stunts.
That's fair enough. I hadn't even really thought about LVP in this movie. Who do you give it to?
That
Hey,
guy.
Dakota Johnson showed up for like 2 seconds. How
Yeah, but
about
she's not
that?
the LVP.
But I'm just saying, isn't that wild?
Yeah, that was awesome.
I'm just like going through the cast at this point.
What about Nick
Who's this
Offerman?
guy? Zach Dax Flame.
I don't know who Dak. That's his real
This
name.
guy. Yeah, I kind of remember seeing him in the movie and not liking him.
I like Johnny Simmons. You like Johnny Simmons?
Who's
From
Johnny
Jennifer's Body and from Scott Pilgrim. He's the guy that gets. He's the guy that's on drugs at the beginning who dies. The whole inciting incident for them going undercover.
Oh yeah. Sorry, yeah. What did you say he was from?
Jennifer's Body and Scott
Oh
Pilgrim.
yeah, he is in Jennifer's Body. But yeah, I always think of him as from Scott Pilgrim. He's young. If
Oh,
you
really? I
said
think it was
young,
Jennifer's Body first.
If you told me young Neil was in this movie, then I would have known what you were talking about.
I know him as Chip. I think from Jennifer's Body.
All right, well, understandable. He's great in that. It's
He's
fun
really
film.
when I was a little kid, I was like, oh, this guy's a really cool actor. I like this.
Yeah,
guy.
I actually do remember thinking he was gonna turn into something bigger than he did.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. But anyway,
Yeah, there's that.
What were we talking about?
But the whole thing, they both so Seth Rogen, or not Seth Rogen, Jonah Hill starts becoming popular, and Channing Tatum hangs out with the nerds. It's all very fun. I like Channing. He has a cool handshake that I always wanted. I always wanted a cool handshake with somebody. I never really had. What about you? You ever have cool handshakes?
No. No, and I was never very good at them either. Like I
Oh,
knew
really?
people who I felt like wanted to set up handshakes, and I was never able to really do it.
Jesus, that sucks. Imagine like I have a friend and I want to do a handshake with my friend and they just can't remember the handshake.
If it was somebody really important close to me, I would have made a point to learn. But it was like someone I barely know trying to set up a handshake with me. I don't have time for this.
You know what's cool about LeBron? Well, there's a lot of cool things about LeBron James, but one of the coolest things about LeBron James is that he remembers every handshake with every teammate.
What are you talking about?
He has a different handshake for every teammate.
Oh, I did know this because I've seen videos of him like doing them all to
Bang, bang,
them
bang, bang,
after
bang, bang, bang.
games and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fucking cool. He's like, J.R. Smith, let's do our handshake. Kyrie Irving, now we got a different handshake. Jordan
That's
Clarkson.
just a Nazi salute.
Yeah, we just heil. We just heil.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, Austin Reeves. Now we got a cool handshake. Yeah, he's got a cool. It's really cool. I always a lot of respect for LeBron, remembering every handshake for all of his teammates.
Pretty great.
That has to be like a big boost. Like LeBron remembers your handshake.
Yeah.
You know.
All right. So, what did you think of Ice Cube? So, we didn't even get to it on the TV show, but I see that eventually their captain on that show is played by Stephen Williams, who is this very. No, not Dr. Death. Steve Williams.
Wow.
No, Stephen Williams was this very authoritarian black character actor in like the 80s and 90s. He was like an informant to Mulder for a little while on the X-Files, and he was always dressing down Mulder and shit. And so like I think that's what they're going for with Ice Cube. Like that, like they probably had like the stereotype authoritarian black captain on 21 Jump Street, the TV show, after they got rid of the Flower Child guy.
Right. Yeah, he's known as Mr. X. I see on the X Files.
Yes,
That's pretty cool.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, got to be an important character if your name is Mr. X on the X Files.
Seriously.
Right? Yeah.
So he's like kind of a main guy. He was in the whole show. Apparently he was in It, the new It movie.
Yeah. He was introduced in the season 2 premiere after their informant from the first season, Deep Throat, was tragically killed.
Oh, wow. At one point, I want to bring this up because Jonah Hill. We moved.
By the way, the actor who plays Deep Throat also showed up on Melrose Place. I just wanted to say that. Sorry. Go ahead.
Jonah's family is like a big part of the movie, and there's a thing where Jonah Hill's talking to Dave Franco, and he's like, "Yeah, we don't know when we're going to tell Channing Tatum that he's adopted," and we say he comes from a very lame family, and it made me think that Jennifer Lame, the editor, might be his mom. You think that might be the case? A lame family?
See, the thing about that, it could be that, but I would think that lame family is probably pretty great. It led to an Oscar winner.
Yeah, but he meant lame, like the last name. He didn't mean anything else by it.
You might be right.
I thought that was fun. High school mascot, Bull Sharks. I thought that was an interesting high school mascot.
I thought it was baller. I noticed it immediately, and I was like, I wish that was my high school mascot.
Yeah, because sharks would be cool, but like a specific
Bull
type of
Sharks
shark
is even cooler.
as your mascot.
That sounds so
interesting.
fucking mean.
Yeah, that's really specific and cool. I would really like that. Do you like the part where they're like explosives, but then they don't blow up, but then it's like a truck of chickens?
Oh,
chickens
yes.
blow up?
It was perfectly edited. The way they edited like that oil tanker, like slowly, like the holes starting to form, and then stuff like pouring out, and
like the music,
and then it crashes. Yeah, it was really like Lord and Miller killed that sequence, and then for it not to explode, and then that was a really good bit. I'd never seen anything like that before.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Yeah, honestly, I wouldn't be. I actually checked on IMDb. I was like, or not on IMDb, on Letterboxd. I was like, I wonder if anybody had the nerve to give these a 5. Because I feel like you could actually, from writing, directing, editing, acting.
I thought
They're pretty
about
perfect.
going 4 for the first one, 5 for the second one, much like I did with Gremlins.
I
Okay,
love it.
but I think ultimately I'm gonna go 4s across the board.
I think that I kind of might do the same, but I think that would be cool if someone was like, "Yeah, these are fives. These are fucking masterpieces." Because I couldn't dispute it. I feel like
Yeah,
like
I'd love it if someone had those balls, but it's not gonna be me.
maybe I'll do it. No, no,
Uh,
no.
listen, if you have those balls, Logan, I would worship those balls.
Maybe I'll go 5-4.
Um, five
Uh,
four. You prefer the first one, huh?
I think I might. I think I might. The
Interesting.
second one, there's more CGI, and I think it is shot better. I think it looks really cool. The lighting's better, and it looks crisp and
I think
stuff.
the second movie, though, a lot of that stuff is just because, like, that's part of it, like the meta commentary on how big the movie's getting. Like, I love this scene on the top of the parking garage right at the beginning, where like there are helicopter shots of them for no reason. Like, it looks exactly like Bad Boys 2, but like
Right.
it's 22 Jump Street. It's great.
I get what you're saying, and they open the movie like, oh, it's like we're doing a sequel. No one thought it would be like last time, but we're doing it again. But then it's a little bit like how Henry felt with Scream, where he's like, well, now I can't criticize it at all. So
Oh, whatever.
I know, but that's a little how I feel now. But because I do like the first one, but like what you're saying is not wrong. So, but anyway,
You just have to decide how self-aware you think these things are, if you want to give them credit.
and while I like the girl in the second one, I think Brie Larson is really adds something to the first one.
I do agree with that. Yeah, that's a good point.
But she's
I
really good in the
miss her in
second
the
one.
second one. I do think it's odd they never mentioned the character once in the second one.
True. Yeah, I guess
Like
they
it
just
ends the first one. I mean, it is weird. Like it. Listen, the first movie ends with Jonah Hill kissing Brie Larson. Okay, Jonah Hill is a 23-year-old police officer. Brie Larson is a senior in high school. Okay,
Mm.
it's weird. I think about it every time I watch this movie. In that moment, I'm like, hey, that's weird.
She could
Uh,
be 18 though.
even if she is, not great.
I agree, it is weird, but it might not be illegal. Is my point.
Oh, that's fine. I accept that. I think that's what they're aiming for. It's her. She's already at her senior prom, so it's likely she's 18.
I was
But
17, but you
I
can be
I
18.
was too. I was too.
Yeah, we have
But you
summer
can be
birthdays,
18.
so that makes sense.
That's right. My friend David Rockowitz, he was 18.
Yeah,
All
it can
right.
happen.
Yeah. So what are we talking about?
How he's 23, she's 18. It ends. They're together. They never
Oh
mention
yeah.
it.
But yeah, so but it ends and they're together. I think if you end a movie with two characters together and then you make a sequel to that movie, you must mention that character.
I mostly agree with you, and I did feel it here. But I mean, you're pretty consistent with that. You had that same complaint with Bad Santa. Remember Lauren Graham's not in the second one. You were like,
I
"What the fuck is
did.
this? Where is Lauren Graham?"
I had that problem. But I'll tell you what. Uh it also I forgot what I was gonna say. Go on.
I think it might make sense for these because they are cops having to move from like case to case. Like maybe they've done cases even between that one and this one that have been
Oh
like
yeah.
even more
Well,
important.
what I was gonna say was I wondered whether they did it because they were like that was pretty creepy. Like maybe let's just not mention it.
Hmm. You think so?
Yeah.
What if they opened it and they were like, wow, you're 20 now. Remember when you were 18 in the last movie? What if they did that?
I don't know.
She has her
Whatever.
20th birthday at the start.
Yeah.
It's 2 years later. I don't know. I don't know. It felt weird. I love the part where Jonah Hill helps Channing Tatum fix his tie. Anytime someone helps somebody with a tie, I'll cry. Right?
Yeah, I'll tell you, it was a really smart move in this first movie to have them take the wrong identities. You know, they
Yeah.
could have easily done like what Ice Cube told them the plan was, which was for like Channing Tatum to like infiltrate like the sports shit, sort of like he does in the second movie, and for Jonah Hill to like infiltrate the science nerds or whatever. But like when Jake Johnson, who I forgot was in this movie, Principal Jake Johnson, offers them like he only says their names and they don't remember which names are attached to which identities. So it ends up Channing Tatum with the science nerds, Jonah Hill with the popular kids. I think that's a really smart move for the movie.
I agree. I think that I didn't think about that, but that also might be a factor why I like the first one more. While I like Wyatt Russell and Tatro, and I like Channing with them, I think it's more interesting for Channing to be with the nerds. I think I like that a little bit more.
Yeah, that's fair. Very fair.
What about Ellie Kemper? I think she's hilarious in this movie.
I do
I always
too.
forget till she comes in.
The fucking movie ended, and I'll tell you what, when the movie ended, the very first thought I had was they really could have used one more moment with Ellie Kemper. And then the next thing I knew, mid-credit sequence with Ellie Kemper fucking Channing Tatum in a janitor's closet. Exactly what I needed. Thank you, movie.
Oh yeah, I didn't watch that this time, but I've seen that in the past. I forgot about that. But yeah, you're right that we do add a little more Ellie Kemper. I think she's hilarious. It made me like I haven't seen a lot from her since The Office. I feel like this is kind of the thing I know her most from after
I
The
mean,
Office.
you didn't watch Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.
Ah, you're right. She had a whole other show, but I didn't watch it. You're right.
That was great.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean,
yeah.
for a while.
Unbreakable. That's that one.
Yeah, Unbreakable. Got it. It's America.
Right. Right.
Something like that.
Yeah. All right. So Kimmy Schmidt. What is she?
Females are strong as hell. I remember that was part of the theme song.
What is she? Like a detective or something?
What do you mean? Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt?
Well, yeah. What is Kimmy Schmidt? What does she do?
No, she's escaped. She was part of a cult that was like recently shut down by the FBI, and now she's like trying to like make it in the world, but she's like lived in this cult for like her whole life.
That's pretty interesting. So it's not it's not all funny. It's like pretty kind of serious.
No, it is definitely a comedy. It definitely has the same tone as other Tina Fey projects like 30 Rock and Mean Girls or whatever. But like it it has some like dark themes.
Damn, that's a pretty cool story. There was a girl on Survivor, I think like last season. Her family escaped from a cult. They were in a cult. They escaped because the cult leader wanted to marry her.
Holy shit, I love that.
So her mom was like, "Whoa, we got to get the fuck out of this cult. My daughter's gonna marry the cult leader." And that's
damn.
crazy.
If I watch one season of New Survivor, it's gonna be the fucking one with the cult girl.
I think it's the very latest season, 45. Check
All
that
right.
one out. Yeah, and we learned. I feel like we learned it in like the third to last episode. We were like, "Oh
holy
yes,
shit,
this person was in a cult."
All right,
like what?
You must tell me who it is before I start watching. Then
Okay, I will, but I don't want to spoil it now. But
okay.
If you ever get to when you're watching it, I'll tell you.
Okay.
So we learned that the Rob Riggle is the bad guy.
Yeah, the revelations, whatever to me, but like it's still fun and it leads to that good shit with Depp and it's a fun
I like the
scene.
Peter Pan. You like that?
Yes, that's in this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Because he's trying to impress Brie Larson. She's Wendy. So yeah, that car chase is really good. Right, because we talked about the shit, whatever.
Yeah. She'd be great Wendy, by the way. You know who played Wendy in Hook?
No, you know what we need to do? Never make a Peter Pan movie ever again. We've made too many.
No. I think Gwyneth Paltrow plays Wendy for a second and Hook for like a split second.
I think you might be right, bro.
I think that's on IMDb. I remember
Julia Roberts is Tinkerbell.
That's very true. Dustin Hoffman is Hook.
Well, the titular Hook, yes.
Anyway, so we get Johnny Depp. He shows up, takes his stuff off, whatever.
Oh, it's a 4. What are you giving?
I guess I'll go 4. I don't know. And then at the end, we get sent to college. You sons of bitches are going to college.
Great line reading by Ice Cube.
You like Ice Cube? What are your thoughts on Ice Cube?
Ice Cube is a very limited actor, okay? But I think in like a broad comedy like this, he can really bring it. Like, you know, I'm a big fan of Friday. It's like one of my favorite comedies of the 90s. So
You ever
like,
see Ride Along?
no, I've never seen Ride
Not my
Along.
favorite. Never saw the second one. I guess I'm waiting for the podcast. But that first one's like one of the most nothing movies a little bit. I don't remember a thing about it.
Jason Mantzoukas has a writing credit on that movie. It's like the only thing I know about it.
Really?
Yeah.
I kind of feel bad. I watched it in the movie theater and I didn't have a good time. And then like a day later, I was like, what happened in Ride Along? I don't remember. Anyway. So
but yeah, anyway, in a role like this is perfect casting for Ice Cube. This is what he should be doing in movies.
yeah, it's well, honestly one of the more iconic roles that I think of for him now at this point.
Sure. Yeah, kind of
One
me
of
too.
them. All right, so I'll go for my MVP. I think I'm gonna go Channing Tatum in this
Yeah,
first one.
you know what? It fucking is Channing Tatum. And Jonah, don't take it personally, bro. You're fine. Stop. Day, don't take it out on your girlfriend. Don't.
Hey, Jonah.
Hey, Jonah. Don't berate her about that dress. She can go out in that, okay?
Yeah, that was the thing. He would just like make her feel like not pretty and stuff, right?
Yeah.
He would just like
yeah.
make her like have a self-esteem of him.
And he didn't
basically.
want her having male platonic friends. That was the thing too.
Yeah, he was just really controlling was the
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. But Jonah,
He didn't beat her.
you are a fine actor, fine comedic actor.
I think he's a great actor.
There was a time we thought you might win an Oscar. That still might happen, bro. All right,
true.
fingers crossed. Everything's cool. She can wear that.
I think he's a
All
great actor. What do you think?
That's all. I love Jonah Hill. He's great. He's great. He's great. I love him. But I do think this thing hurt his profile.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But maybe he'll get the MVP in 22 Jump Street. Right? We'll see.
Fingers crossed for Jonah. Okay. And who's your your LVP was that
Scott,
fucking guy. And
guy
mine
from Party.
was this dude Dax Flame.
Yeah, I
Okay.
still don't remember who that character is.
Whatever. Anyway, let's move on, right?
Yeah, 22 Jump Street.
22 Jump Street.
I have a question. We have like this whole previously on. We're like previously on 21 Jump Street. And we see a whole bit like the Annie Hall bit. Was that in the first movie? Because I didn't remember
No.
that.
No, it's not. That's the joke, Logan.
Okay.
It's
I thought so.
It's such a great bit. It's one of my favorite bits in the whole movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then we get a callback later on too.
We do, yeah. So we get a previously on 21 Jump Street, which is great. I genuinely believe every sequel should have a previously sequence.
You don't mean
I
that.
really mean that. I think they should make it standard.
What? I remember when you and Henry did. You were like, "We really have previously on Friday the 13th, and this what is going on?" You guys hated that.
Because I'd never seen it before. It was something new and different. I wasn't used to it. Okay, it's a crazy thing to do. But the more I see it, and especially in the context of a modern film like this, I think it's genuinely helpful. And they make sequels. They're constant now. There's a sequel coming out every week, Logan.
That's true.
Help
but
us out. Give us a little previously. Don't make me watch your fucking first movie on a streaming service before. Give me a previously.
I don't know. I think it works so much better as just in this movie because it's a TV movie. So
You
do a
don't
little
think,
previously on.
you don't think like Marvel, which is just like it's like basically a movie serial at this point. Like all of those fucking things should have previously sequences.
I feel like you'd complain the first
Previously in
second they
Marvel,
did it though.
previously in Marvel, Kang was there.
They would not mention
No.
Kang.
Yeah, maybe not now. You're right.
I think you'd complain. You'd be like, "Well, they think we're dumb. We need it previously on."
No, I only feel that way when they do it during like a move, like in the
Like a
middle of a
flashback
movie.
in the movie?
Yeah, like the Diary of the
Diary of
Dead
the Dead.
thing. Yeah,
Of
that is the
course.
ultimate one.
Yeah.
Because it was like 3 seconds later. Anyway, 22 Jump Street. Let's talk about it. Lord and Miller back, gang. Yeah, and we've got some new guys with them. Well, Jonah Hill and Michael Bacall from Free Willy. You know, they're still co-writing, but we have 2 other co-writers for some reason. Not really sure why. Maybe because this is more of like a gaggy movie. They needed people to come and write gags.
We got Zuckers. What do we got?
But one of them's an odd choice. One of them's a fella named Oren Uziel. Okay. And 22 Jump Street is like his first film credit. And after this, he's really only done weird. Listen to this. Here's his credits: Shimmer Lake, which is a horror movie, The Cloverfield Paradox, the bad third Cloverfield movie, the Mortal Kombat that debuted on HBO Max during the pandemic, Escape Room 2 Tournament of Champions, and The Lost City with Sandra Bullock and Channing Tatum.
So not great.
It's odd credits, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's also attached, Logan, unfortunately, to Fast X Part 2.
Oh, is that what they're calling it?
I guess.
Well, that's not very good.
No,
I
that's
remember
not.
a lot of Fast X. Maybe I'll watch that again.
Yeah, I definitely will before Fast X Part 2. But the other additional writer is a guy I love named Rodney Rothman. All right. Now, listen to this guy. This is why I love him, because he's sort of my hero.
Wow.
Okay. All right. So he got his start real young working on the David Letterman show. And then he wrote for the Judd Apatow show, Undeclared. And then when that got canceled, he felt that he had earned enough money from working on the David Letterman show that he would retire. He didn't need to be rich, and he didn't particularly like working, Logan.
Okay.
So he retired. He retired to an old people's retirement community in Florida where he lived amongst the elderly. And then while he was there, he wrote a book about it called Early Bird, which I read.
Wow, you read it.
Yeah. He just stayed retired for a while. And then Apatow started employing him, bringing him on to sets as like, because this was during the time when Apatow had like a million different movies in development, and he was like directing his own movies. So he needed like producers on all these sets. So he hired Rodney Rothman to be one of these dudes. He worked on like Forgetting Sarah Marshall and Get Him to the Greek and Year One, I think. um, but anyway, he after that parlayed this into co-writing 22 Jump Street and then co-directing Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
That's big.
Yeah. So that's our creative team for this movie. All those guys.
All right.
Yeah. This movie came out June 13th, 2014. It had a higher budget, which they do state in the film, of $84.5 million. And in the film, they say a higher budget doesn't necessarily lead to, bigger results. But I'll tell you what, Logan, it did in this case, because this movie made $331.3 million at the box office. Big hit. Came in
Big
at number 14 for the year. 14 between Godzilla and the first Michael Bay Ninja Turtles.
I would have thought both of those made more than Godzilla, honestly. Godzilla made a lot of money.
Well, that's why they started making all those other ones,
I guess so. But
Yeah.
I thought people were like, oh, it's boring. Don't see it.
It was divisive. I said it was boring. Don't see it. Thank you for
Right, but
paying
Henry
attention,
loves
Logan. But other, not just Henry. Like, there are people whose opinions I fucking respect who on Letterboxd have given that Godzilla movie like 4.5 stars.
Well, I've never seen it. I hope I love it when I watch it.
I hope you do too, buddy. I always
Could
hope
we-
people love movies I hate.
Could we only do the recent Godzillas? Would that be possible?
Yeah, like we've talked about doing with the Mummy.
I guess that wouldn't be fun for you. You hate them all.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I don't think that'd be fun for me either. So.
Okay. Only the MTV Awards recognized 22 Jump Street.
Fair enough.
Like I told you, Tatum won comedic performance, and they were nominated together for best on-screen duo.
Hope they won.
But they lost to the team of The Neighbors,
What?
Seth Rogen and Zac Efron.
Okay, that's kind of crazy. What about the other neighbors? They were the only two.
What do you mean?
It's more than just the two of them.
But they were a duo, I guess. Well, they're kind of nemesis more than a duo.
Because like Zach
Really, the
Efron's
duo
best friend
should-
is Dave Franco, right?
Yeah, it should have been Rogan and Rose Byrne.
Yeah, or go Rogan and Rose Byrne if you want to go Rogan.
Yeah, weird.
That's a
All
weird
right.
choice.
Anyway, maybe it was. Maybe I just saw the poster with them together and assumed.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
I could be wrong about this, guys, but I don't. Should I look it up?
If you want to, that seems like a weird choice.
All right,
Though. Do
it's-
they
it's-
become really close in that movie? Like they become best friends?
I don't think so.
I think they
Like,
become
but
more like
maybe
they
by the-
understand each other. a little
Yeah,
more.
yeah, I think that's more the vibe.
Yeah.
They understand each other. That's funny. Um.
Dave Franco, Zach Efron. So they won.
Oh, it's Dave Franco, Zach Efron.
Yeah. Neighbors co-stars Dave
Holy
and Zach.
shit! All right. Wow. Dave Franco from the first movie only takes a little cameo in this second movie, and then ends up beating the stars of it. That's got to feel good for Dave Franco.
Yeah, that's actually pretty big. Good for Dave Franco.
Yeah. All right. Happy for the the Franco with a clean record. All right. Best fight. It was nominated for best fight again, but it lost to something in the Maze Runner.
Which fight? Is it when he's gonna like fight kissing when they do that whole thing?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
And Jillian Bell, who was his foil in that scene, was nominated for best villain actually, and she lost to Meryl Streep for Into the Woods.
This was the first time I saw her, and I thought she was pretty funny. And then, but every time I've seen her since, I'm like, oh my god, I hate her. She sucks. So-
I kind of know what you mean, man. Like, I feel like people that like Jillian Bell watched Workaholics. She was on that show, I'm pretty sure, and I never watched that show. And so I don't know that much about her. I've mostly seen her in shit like this, and
I like her
Yes.
here.
she's fine in this, but was she in Pitch Perfect?
I don't think so. Was she? What are you
No.
thinking of?
I don't know.
Rebel Wilson?
Maybe.
That's
Maybe
terrible.
I kind of feel similarly about Jillian Bell that I do to Rebel Wilson.
I think
Which is
that's
that she
fair.
can be funny, but like a lot of times she's like not an appealing presence in movies.
Was she in Goosebumps? Yeah, she's in Goosebumps. She plays like his aunt in Goosebumps.
Oh, I liked her in that Lynn Shelton movie, Sword of Trust. So I have liked her in other shit.
Apparently, she's in The Master,
Really?
Paul Thomas Anderson movie.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Susan Gregory, and she's in 8 episodes of Eastbound and Down.
Yeah, I think I might have found her annoying on that show.
Okay, all right. Yeah, but here I think our shining moment, in my opinion,
Yeah, why not?
to me.
All right. Let's talk about it.
Yeah,
Where do we start?
my name's Jeff.
Previously.
Oh yeah, previously.
Right. So they do the lobster scene from Annie Hall in the previously. They just fit it in there.
Yes, like,
Great bit. And then later on, Channing Tatum tries to do it with Wyatt Russell. But it's forced. Feels
Yeah, he's like, come
forced.
on, let's do it. Let's do the lobster bit.
Wyatt Russell, I read, turned down a role in one of the Hunger Games sequels
Oh,
to
wow.
make this movie, which I respect.
Me too. This was the first time that I ever saw Wyatt Russell, and he
Me
always stuck
too.
out. I thought he was great here.
He didn't stick out to me, you know.
Oh wow,
I didn't clock Wyatt Russell until Everybody Wants Some.
yeah.
It wasn't until I went back and rewatched it here where I was like, oh shit, Wyatt Russell. Yeah, I remembered him being good and likable in this and stuff, but yeah, I definitely like when I saw Everybody Wants Some, I wasn't like, that's the guy from 22 Jump Street.
I had that feeling with Tatro. Is it Tatro, however you say that? I think it's
I don't
Tatro.
know. I've never known.
But I never knew from this movie. But now I've seen him in like Theater Camp and other movies since then. And then now I was like, oh, that's Jimmy Tatro. So
I
I
feel
had that
like
with
the
him.
big breakthrough for him was that show American Vandal on Netflix.
Sure.
Yeah, that like no one heard of him until then. Then he was everywhere. All of a sudden, I think he had like a recurring role on like Modern Family and shit. He
Oh
was
yeah,
dating Haley.
he's a boyfriend.
Yeah.
Boyfriend of Haley. So we have
All
this new
right.
thing, Wi-Fi.
Yeah, that's the new drug.
New drug, gotta go to college to
I got a new drug.
Is
It's
that an
Huey
Ice
Lewis
Cube song?
It's Huey
Oh.
Lewis song.
Okay.
You should end the episode with that.
I was gonna end it on an Ice Cube song. Or on
Oh,
LMFAO or something.
Party Rock Anthem. If you which Ice Cube song you ended on? It was a good day.
NWA.
Oh, Straight Outta Compton.
Yeah. That's in one of the movies, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. I thought it was interesting they played Straight Outta Compton.
That's not that weird. He sang it.
I guess, and it's not like these movies are scared of like meta shit.
Right. And somebody says they're from Compton, don't they? They're like, oh yeah, I'm from Compton.
Yeah, that's when they play Straight Outta Compton.
Oh.
So it's like a joke, like they're playing Straight Outta Compton in an Ice Cube movie, but we learn that Ice Cube is from like Plainview, Long Island, or something.
Oh wait, yeah, it's his wife, Queen Latifah. She's from Compton, isn't it? Is that what it is?
Yes. That's exactly.
Yeah,
what
and they're
it
like,
is.
but he's
Yeah.
from like San Francisco or whatever. No,
Yeah,
San Francisco.
yeah.
But yeah. I wrote
No,
and
it-
twins.
Why?
Because they're twins. in
Oh,
this
those
movie.
dudes. Yeah, I remember those dudes.
You're saying you do remember them?
No, I'm asking you. Like, I
Yeah,
feel-
I don't know who they are, but they
I
were
feel
like
like
around.
they were a thing. They were around for like maybe 4 years, and then you never saw them again.
Yeah, I don't know who they are.
I think they were probably like
The
stand-up
Lucas.
comedians or improv guys, but like they were just like twin comedians that were in like a few things for a few years, and then apparently Hollywood was just like, that's all we've got for you.
Well, apparently they have a story credit on Judas and the Black Messiah, both of them.
Yeah, so they went behind the scenes. You know,
They're the Lucas brothers, Keith and Kenneth.
have they done anything else? Judas and the Black Messiah is like a big credit.
They had this show, the Lucas Bros Moving Company. It's like an animated show, maybe.
Ah, it's nothing.
Oh, all right.
Where are we?
I don't know.
And twins. What other notes you got?
Fiato.
Oh yeah,
That's
Wait,
hilarious.
that's what when is that? He says you could say anything.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, they're like, you could say anything you want to, and he's like, Fiato.
That's really good. Channing Tatum, it must be said. Listen, and I'm not one who likes to give credit to handsome people. You know that.
But he's one of the best.
He is one of the best handsome people. in the world.
Gosling is better. Gosling is better.
Gosling is better. You were 100% correct.
But he is number
Yeah.
one.
Hey,
It's tough.
hey,
Nobody can
you're
compete.
100% correct.
Nobody
no.
can touch Ryan.
He is so fucking handsome, and he is so funny in these movies, and he is so likable, and you believe him.
Yep. I fucking love him. I love him. And you really
He's great.
shouldn't. You really shouldn't. He is like he's too handsome. You're supposed to
And-
not
and he doesn't
like
even-
him.
And he doesn't even really dance in these movies. And I mean, and that's like part of his essence.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I like
like
the part where
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Jonah Hill says that he's a great dancer. Like,
Yeah, finally something up my
shit.
alley.
Yeah.
I like the Channing face. Just like, what? Seriously? Did you like the part where you probably liked this? This is like another little montage type of thing where we go spy on the frat house and it's like Channing doing cool tricks, but then it's like Jonah Hill going.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
all. very
that's when
funny.
they've done the Wi-Fi as well, right? So that's the part where they're investigating
the
very
frat.
intently. Yeah.
Like we're going to go spy, see what they're talking about.
Yeah. But
Um,
then they trip. They have it's a split screen trip. It's
Oh,
brilliant.
right. Well, like Jonah Hill's happy or Jonah Hill's sad.
No, Jonah Hill's in hell.
Right, and
He's
Channing Tatum is
standing on like
Rainbow Land.
the molten rocks of hell. Okay, and yeah, and Channing Tatum's in this like bouncy cloud land, and Channing Tatum's he's like floating into the sky, and Jonah Hill like reaches across the freeze frame to try to drag Channing Tatum down. It's a metaphor for their relationship that we're seeing literally on screen in a beautiful split screen dream sequence. It is absolutely stunning. It's great filmmaking, honestly.
No, I agree with you, but I think the thing is I was just more compelled in the other one where Channing was a nerd rather than in this one where he's the
No,
cool
I
guy.
hear ya.
He's going up to be with the cool guys again. It was less compelling to me a little bit.
I hear you, but I also you do the thing in the previous one where the roles get swapped, where like Channing Tatum was the bully in high school, and now they go back to high school, and Jonah Hill almost becomes a bully, and Channing Tatum's a nerd. Okay, but now you do the thing in college, and I mean, you're right. It is doing like the thing you'd expect, but since you did the reverse in the
Yeah, you
first
can't do the
movie,
same thing.
yeah, it's almost like having Rocky win in the second movie. Like it's not like it's it's doing what you'd expect, but still satisfying.
Yeah, it's doing what you'd expect, but in the second movie, because in the first one they did what you wouldn't expect. So it's tough
Exactly.
to
Yeah.
like discredit them because they did what you wouldn't expect. So
Right. They turn the tables in
what more could you want?
in the first movie. So in the second one, let's see what the tables look like when they're set.
It's true, which is why the second one's so great. But it's also like if I had to pick one, why I might like the first one. Like I'm not
You
dissing
might
the second one.
you're genuinely convincing me.
Wow. Yeah, I think the first one, like as
I
like
think
an idea, is just a little better.
I just think scene for scene, gag for gag, the second movie is so wild and consistently unexpected and unpredictable that like I really latch onto it. There's so many little
Yeah.
bits that I think are like genuinely genius, like the fucking the meat cute
Yes,
where
that's so funny.
it's a Q-tip and a sandwich, a meat cute, and and the red herring character who they're looking for through like they're trying to figure out what his tattoo is, and then his tattoo is a red herring.
No, it's all
There are
yeah,
bits in this movie that I
very
think
clever.
are just great. And like above and beyond anything I think that the first movie's doing with its like, real Slim Shady, Jonah Hill with braces kind of broader
Right.
gags. Um,
I think your call about Gremlins is pretty good. This is way more Gremlins too. It's a like
yeah,
this is pretty Gremlins too.
it's less coherent, but I think in on some level more impressive.
Yeah, because it's stupid, but it's really smart in the execution
Yeah,
and in the thought of it all. I
yeah,
agree. Yeah, that's actually a good comparison. Gremlins. What's that called? The New Batch. Gremlins, the New Batch.
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm not gonna complain if you have this ahead of it or anything. So we learned that Ice Cube is the girl's dad, right?
Yeah, I forgot that twist, and
Oh wow.
it was still satisfying the second time. Dude, the scene where Channing Tatum like realizes that Jonah Hill has fucked Ice Cube's daughter and like loses his mind
Schmidt fucked the
in Ice
captain's
Cube.
daughter.
He is so joyful and fun in that sequence.
I'm gonna read you a tweet from Christopher Miller. Okay.
Oh, I love it.
Somebody tweeted something. The scene we're talking about. They said rewatched 22 Jump Street for the first time in a while last night and had forgotten that Channing Tatum is perfect. And then Christopher Miller quoted it, said this scene was originally written to take place all in Dixon's office, but Channing said, quote, if this happened, I would run all over the building telling everyone. So he set up a bunch of cameras and let him do his thing. So that was all
That is
Channing Tatum,
great.
basically.
Such a good idea.
Yeah, and that's one of the best parts of the whole entire movie.
No, I think that and him leaving the office to like go and tell the rest of the people, like that makes that scene.
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah, he's giving them all high fives running around, and
Yeah.
and the fact that his name's Schmidt, right?
Yeah.
Jonah Hill. Jonah Hill is Schmidt. Schmidt's just sitting there in the office with Ice Cube, just like he's just listening to Channing Tatum like celebrate, and he's like, oh, just it's really funny the whole staging of the
Yeah.
whole thing. It's hilarious, and that's what makes it tough because we gave Channing MVP in the first one, and he might also be in the second one, but I want to go Jonah Hill in the second one.
I know, but it's Channing.
I know, but I like Jonah Hill's relationship in this one. I think it's like it's more grown up from the first one. I think it's good.
Well, of course, he's dating a fucking high school girl in the first one.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Their names I found interesting because Schmidt is nothing. Like that has no connection to the original 21 Jump Street. I looked it up. But Jenko is the name of the flower child captain that was killed
Oh
after
wow,
the first
yeah.
season. So I don't really know what they were doing there.
Maybe Schmidt is a thing. We just don't really
No,
know.
I looked it up. I like looked up and down the cast list of 21 Jump Street for a character named Schmidt. I could not find one.
That's really interesting then. I wonder why. Maybe because
Yeah.
he's like the more loser one. He doesn't deserve it. Maybe that's what they're saying. I don't know.
I don't know.
I like
Maybe
the
maybe because he's Jewish and they never had a single Jewish character in the history of 21 Jump Street.
maybe that was funny that when Ice Cube's like, "You look like you'd be good with money."
Oh my god, yeah. Crazy.
Oh my goodness. The oh man, I was gonna say, oh, I love the guy, the teacher's Tracy Morgan impression. That was so
That was
hilarious.
great. Yeah, that was great.
Obviously, we've all heard the statement before. First impressions are important. I've got a first impression for you. Oh, y'all like psychology? Tracy Morgan. Nobody?
Who
It was so
that?
accurate. I don't know the teacher because he gets arrested. Like they think he's the seller of the Wi-Fi, but really it's not him. But he does the thing so quickly, and then he's like, "That was my Tracy Morgan," and I was like, "Damn, that was actually really good." When you think back on it, it was pretty funny. But that guy's
Who
great.
was it though? There were a lot of like teacher cameos in this movie. Patton Oswalt showed up, and I was like, "Wow, I wonder if this was before or after he murdered his wife."
Right, I thought you were gonna say that. Mark
yeah.
Evan Jackson.
Oh yeah. Right, I clocked him immediately because he was in Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yes, his name's Kevin Costner in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I see. Is that
Yeah.
a joke? Is that a thing they talk
Of
about all
course,
the time?
yeah, of course. There another actor I like from these movies is Johnny Pemberton, who plays one of the nerds that Channing is friends with in the first one, and they bring him back. He's sort of like the only nerd with lines in the second movie.
Okay,
And
is he the guy from the first one who's like, "No, I can't fix cell phones," but he's like winking, and he's like, "No, I don't hack cell phones," and he's like winking at Channing, but
Yes,
Channing's like,
yes.
"Wait, do you or don't you?"
Yeah, so he's back in the second movie, and I like him. The Lord and Miller later used him on a show they produced called Son of Zorn. That was really cool and interesting, and was canceled, of course, after one
Was
season.
Zorn the name of that vampire detector
Yeah, it was.
from this newest? I was gonna pull up my notes if you didn't know because I still got them somewhere, but it is.
Yeah, I remember that because Zorn is an X-Men character, and so I always clock that name when I hear it.
Okay, so Zorn. There we go.
Yeah.
Um, what else? Anything else happen in this movie?
Nah. Well, oh, I like
Big action.
I like the big chase at the opening where Channing jumps on the top of the truck, and Jonah Hill yells up, "Don't Teen Wolf on the truck!"
What does that mean? Don't Teen Wolf
That's
on
the
truck.
thing. That's the thing in Teen Wolf. He's always becoming a wolf and then riding the top of the car.
Oh, I'm not really familiar with that much.
Yeah. Oh man, you gotta watch Teen Wolf, bro.
I know. You think just the first one?
You got his best friend in that movie, this guy Styles, bro, and he's like one of the coolest characters in 80s movie history. All right.
Really?
You have no idea. And then you're like, how can this movie get better if you already got Michael J. Fox and Styles, right? All right, you got a girl named Oof, and she's one of the cutest girls in 80s movie history.
What? It has the coolest and the cutest people ever?
You better believe it.
How's that possible?
I don't know. But that's why I ended up giving that movie a fucking 4 on this very show.
All right, maybe I'll check it out. Isn't that 1985? Isn't that the same fucking year he did Back to the Future?
Yep.
Wow.
He was like embarrassed about Teen Wolf coming out because like he was excited about Back to the Future, but then Teen Wolf was like just as big a hit because he made Teen Wolf first, but Teen Wolf came out second.
Right, like Go Wrong, where you like talk about that whenever.
Right, like Go Wrong. God damn it.
That's our
Every
favorite thing.
time.
Yep. Sorry. So we go to spring break. We learn that Jillian Bell is the bad guy, and big. What do you think about that scene where she's trying to kiss him? I think it's funny. I think it's really funny.
I think it's very funny. I think they're both really good.
They're both hysterical, and like physically they're really good because she especially she's really good. Like she's like conflicted. She like does it. I don't even know if she wants.
I love it when he gets her down on the bed and then she's like, "Are we gonna fuck? Is this happening?"
Yeah, either you're gonna fuck me or you're not. What's happening right now? So pretty fun. Well, we do something at the end where we're just like, gotta say something cool when you throw the bomb, and then he's like, something cool.
Yeah. And then of course the final sequence with all the fake sequels is dynamite. Just
hilarious.
one of the great
I
memorable.
wrote every one of them down. Did you have it like any of them?
I mean, no.
Bill
but-
Hader was in one of them.
Yeah, Seth Rogen replaced Jonah Hill for a movie.
Oh yeah, and then he came back and he was like, "What? I was never." It was like
Yeah.
a Jim, like Asian Jim. Like when he
Yeah,
comes-
yeah, exactly.
What are you talking about? Anna Faris, she was at Flight Academy.
Yes, I was excited about that. She looked
Top
pretty
Gun.
funny shit. Yeah, there's like a vet one. There's like a ski one, I think.
Yep. Sunday School, where they were priests. That was one of my
Right.
favorites. I think that might be my favorite. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's a great bit.
Yeah.
Um,
Great bit.
And then I'll tell you pretty soon about actual possible sequels.
Okay. Should we give it fours and stuff yet?
Yeah, I want to give it a 4.
All right, I'll give it a 4. I'll go Jonah Hill, MVP.
Channing.
Wow, sweep for Channing. I didn't want to do
Yeah.
it. My heart wouldn't feel right, I don't think.
My heart
Even though-
feels great.
Yeah, even though it might be accurate.
You know
All right.
what? You know what? Channing Tatum. You had a divorce with a young lady named Jenna Dewan. I've never heard her say an unkind word about him.
It's true. You know he's with
You know-
Zoe now, right? Zoe
What?
Kravitz.
Who?
Zoe,
And
Zoe Kravitz.
she's with Nathan Fillion.
What?
Not in real life, just on the show The Rookie.
What do you mean? Who's she? Zoe or
No,
Jenna?
Jenna Dewan.
Okay, she's an actor.
Yeah, she's on The Rookie.
Oh wow, I knew she was like in those movies with Channing, but I thought she was mostly a dancer.
No, she shows up and shit. She had a great arc for a season on The Resident as well. She's on all the shows I watch.
Well, yeah, it sounds like it. Well, she's very pretty. Jenna. Do they have a baby together? I feel like they kind of do.
I hope so, man. The world deserves that.
Okay. All right, so 4 is LV. I'm gonna go with Patton Oswalt. Actually, I wrote him as my LVP.
LVP Patton Oswalt. Wow.
I didn't want to go Franco after we talked about him. I thought about him.
Oh, we didn't mention that Peter Stormare showed up in this movie. We also didn't mention that Nick. Did we say Nick Offerman's in both these fucking movies?
We might not have.
Yeah, he's funny.
He is funny. Yeah,
I mean, he's basically just doing the Nick Offerman thing, but he's funny.
he's a really great actor. Nick Offerman.
Yeah, Matt. When you give that guy some serious shit to do, he can fucking serious your shit.
It's true. Yeah, never thought about it that way.
Yeah, bro. Here, I know who I'm gonna give LVP to.
All right.
I do not like the guy that plays Jonah Hill's dad.
Yeah, I definitely like Mom more, but
Oh,
is
he's
he in
on
this
Stranger
movie?
Things. He's on Stranger Things.
What is he
Yeah,
doing
they
this
show
one?
up at one point. Remember, like they come for Parents Weekend.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Wow. So, all right. Can't fight that. Dad, LVP.
You know what else I can do? I'll maybe those twins.
You have a preference? Or
I'm
both
not a
of them?
big fan of them twins.
I agree. I don't know why they're in this movie. They're not good. They're not bad. They're just kind
Yeah,
of there.
I was sort of fine when Hollywood just decided they weren't a thing anymore.
Yeah, honestly, they serve no purpose.
Yeah,
They don't do it.
there are funnier twins out there,
Yeah, like Dylan
Like
and Cole
the-
Sprouse.
or the Sklar brothers.
I thought you were gonna say the Scolari brothers.
No, the Scolari,
The Scolari
brothers.
What did you say? Scolar brothers?
The Sklar brothers. Yeah, those are funny twins.
Who's that? Sklar.
They're two guys, two comedian brothers, twins.
All right.
All right.
Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway. Oh, those sequels. Can I
Yeah.
walk you through 'em?
So we were gonna have
All right.
a Men in Black one. What else?
there were 4 possible sequels that were announced. The first one, it was announced as 23 Jump Street, just straight up. We were going to do 23 Jump Street.
Mhm.
Okay? But without Lord and Miller. And so like Tatum and Hill were hedging. All right, so then we changed tacts. Next, how about a movie called MIB 23?
Yeah.
That was the title. It's a crossover movie with Men in Black. It was going to be directed by James Bobin, who directed those 2 later Muppet movies, remember?
For sure. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. And that never got made. honestly, the more I think about it, that might have been the best bet.
Would it have? It would have been like Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith.
I don't know. I have no idea. It might have been like the Men in Black International, like
Yeah, that hadn't
what
come
they
out, I don't
eventually
think.
did for Men in Black International might have started as this. I don't know. Then we were gonna do this weird thing where we were gonna do a spin-off movie about the Brie Larson character.
Weird.
Yeah, just a solo movie about Brie Larson's character. And then they started working on a different thing, which was a different female-led 21 Jump Street movie. Okay. It was going to be called Jump Street Now for Her Pleasure.
Weird.
Okay. That was the title. All right. They had Tiffany Haddish signed on to star in that movie. All right. She was ready to do it.
Mhm.
And then circling, they had apparently very close to signing on Zendaya and Aquafina.
Wow, it would have been a huge movie.
Yeah, it would have been a huge movie. I mean, I feel like this was a thing we were doing around this time. Ocean's 8. You know what
Yeah,
I'm talking
I was thinking about that. Yeah.
Yeah. But or like Ghostbusters too.
Mhm.
But
I thought that was the third one.
yeah, but I'm saying it was just like around this time they were
I was
doing
kidding,
that.
I
That
was
was like an idea to do with franchises. Let's do like a female version.
Right, right.
So none of those got made ever.
Yeah, never. We still never had it.
Yeah, it's crazy that 4 different sequels to 22 Jump Street were in development at different times, and none of them got made.
I feel like it's probably not going to happen anymore.
Yeah, and 22 Jump Street was a huge fucking hit.
It makes you think what other franchises kind of just died. Like we could have gotten more of them, but they just for
But they
some
like
reason,
let die.
yeah, they just like went on too long, and then we forgot, and then we never went back to it. The actors moved on. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, sometimes they do go back and then like it's not as big anymore, you know? It's like they waited too long between Rush Hour 2 and 3, and then when Rush Hour 3 came out, we didn't really give a shit anymore. Same thing happened
What
with
about-
the Mummy 2 and 3.
Oh yeah, Mummy too. Holy shit. Yeah, that was disappointing. What about Bad Boys? Don't people like the new Bad Boys?
Yeah, the strength with Bad Boys was they got well, I mean, it's the same as this, right? They got Smith and Lawrence, but I was gonna say they got like Chan and Tucker for Rush Hour. I don't know. I don't know how people feel about Bad Boys 3. I think it's great.
Yeah, I thought
But-
people really liked it from
Yeah, I
Logan.
thought so. I mean, a 4th one is in development, so it must have done well.
True.
Yeah. All right.
But yeah, upsetting they never made another Jump Street. But what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
You wanna
can't
do it, me and you?
today? Me? Oh, well, I guess I'm Jonah.
I'll be Schmidt. You be. Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm the Jew.
But I feel like that's true. But I feel like Jonah Hill is more like the little kid.
But you're young and handsome. I look older. I have crow's feet, and I'm a Jew. And I'm bigger than you. Like, yeah.
But you're taller than me too. Like
True.
Like Channing
Oh,
has got to
that's.
be.
I guess
the-
that's true too. Maybe I'm a more physical presence than you.
Yeah, I think you're a combination of Channing and Jonah Hill. You're the perfect combination.
Oh, thank you. That's the nicest thing anyone's ever said.
Well, you're welcome.
Yeah. I'm
You
Jonah
should tell your
Hill-
girlfriend that after the podcast. Be like,
I'm
Logan
Jonah
called
Hill
me.
without the misogyny.
Logan called me Channing mixed with Jonah Hill. What do you think about that?
Yeah, bro.
And then she's like, I think you're just Channing. And then you guys start to kiss each other.
So you're writing fucking fan fiction?
Yeah, I
about
just
me?
wrote fan fiction about your life. That was good.
I love that. Anyway, what are we doing next week? I don't even know.
Oh my God, Daniel. Legitimately, I forgot about that. I talked to you beforehand. Got some franchises down, but then I forgot. You want to run through some and figure it out?
Yeah, let's talk it through on the air.
Oh, we're not going to cut this out. I was just going to name a whole bunch of them.
Name them.
All right. The Addams Family. It's another one
Let's do
based off a
that.
show. You really
Let's
want to
do
do that?
that. Yeah.
Flat out, let's just do that.
Yeah, let's just do that.
That's the A. That's the first thing I mentioned. Adams Family.
So let's do that.
All right, so we're doing the Adams Family. What is it? The Adams Family Values next week?
All right. I actually I have to figure this shit out. Hang on.
Exactly. I think
Yeah.
that's right, though, right?
We
Would we watch some of this show?
I think we watched the pilot of the show. Yeah. All right. Here's what we're gonna do. Next week, we're gonna talk about the TV show, The Addams Family, the original TV show, the 1991 movie, and the animated show from 1992. Okay, that's what we're covering next week.
So one movie and two shows?
Yes.
All
The
right.
following week, we're gonna cover Addams Family Values from 1993 and the TV movie Addams Family Reunion from 1998 with Tim Curry as Gomez. All right.
Mm-hmm. And then what about animated?
Yes, and then the final week we will cover the animated movies on Wednesday.
Okay. All right. So we have 3 weeks coming up
Yeah, you guys ready?
for a little Adams Family.
Wait,
don't
maybe
know.
that's too much for that week. You know what?
What? Which week? Animated and Wednesday?
Yeah, is that too much?
What do you mean? Is that too
No,
much?
I guess that's fine.
What do you mean? All of Wednesday?
No, just the pilot.
Oh, that's not too much. The first week we're doing a movie and 2 shows.
All right. So next week, 1964 TV show, 1991 movie, animated show from the 90s. Following week, Values, Reunion, boom. Final week, animated movies, Wednesday, done.
Boom. And we'll be
Ba-da-da-dum.
Oh yeah, I know the that's like all I know.
They're
The-
sticky and they're scoopy. They're all
Mysterious
together,
and-
spooky.
Oh yeah, they're
I
all
don't
together.
know.
Kooky. Right? The Addams Family. I don't know. How it
But
goes.
it snap.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Yeah.
There's Wednesday season 2 coming out, right?
Yep.
We're gonna be caught up by the time of that.
Don't plan on being. No, dropped it after 4 eps. But I'll
Why?
rewatch because I did not enjoy it. But I'll rewatch the pilot so I can explain why I did not enjoy it on this podcast.
Isn't it all directed by Tim Burton?
The first 4 episodes were that's why I stuck with it for 4. Yeah.
What if it gets better though, like when he leaves?
That'd be weird, but someone tell me if it's true.
I guess so. Yeah, it would be weird. How's Jenna?
Fine.
Fine.
No beef with her.
What about her dance that she does?
Oh yeah, it's fun or whatever.
No. Okay. Is that Lady Gaga? Somebody made a song for that show. I forgot who it was.
I don't remember. Anyway,
cares?
we'll talk about it in 3 weeks.
Oh wait, let's read from the Patreon. Remember?
Okay, yeah, cool.
We have one comment.
Cool.
Unless
Great.
I refresh and we have more than one. But according to this, we have one from Jack Bulberry. And I just refreshed and we still
Hit me.
only have one. He
What's
says,
Jack say?
these are all-time classic comedies to me. I think I was the perfect age for them at the time, mid-teens. Wild to see Dakota Johnson. Totally forgot she was in this. Yeah, it's probably about the same age.
I did too.
Jack Bulberry is like my age, it seems.
I knew Dakota Johnson already though. She'd been in this sitcom called Ben and Kate that I watched. And so like anytime she popped up in something, I'd be like, hey, it's that girl from Ben and Kate.
She'd done Social Network at this time.
She's in Social Network?
Did I make that up?
She might be. She might be on like one scene. They like go on a date with like 2 girls. She might be one of those girls.
No, remember she hooks up with Justin Timberlake and he's like, I'm Justin Timberlake. I created
Oh, you're so fucking right. Yeah, she like wakes up in her bed. in her dorm
you see her
room.
butt, right?
Yes, you're 100% right. Good call.
Yeah, she's in like one scene of that.
Yeah, and you
So-
know what? When I saw Social Network, I was like, hey, it's that girl from Ben and Kate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
But
I think that might have
anyway.
been the first time I saw her, Social Network.
Right
Maybe
on.
this might have been this actually. Yeah, but I didn't know her at the time.
But yeah, I mean, I was in my mid-20s when this came out, and Logan was young. So I don't think there is a perfect age, Jack. I think the perfect age is any age to watch these 21 Jump Street movies.
Yeah, I agree. They're a little bit ageless, timeless.
Yeah. All right. L Dog, Great talking to you.
Yes.
Adam's Family next week. Patreon.com/the franchise. This week we've got Sunday Night Wars coming your way with WrestleMania 7 and Wrestle War 1991. And we've got a Buffy show with Blood Ties is the Buffy episode. And the Angel one is called Happy Anniversary. Interesting stuff this week. And then we've got what else? Hey, I'm watching here. And
Hey, I'm
talking
watching
Big
it.
Brother 11 on Comp Beast.
We're gonna finish it. If you guys like Big Brother, we talk about it every single week. And if you guys
Yeah.
listen to other Big Brother podcasts, guess what? Those podcasts are lame and dumb compared to us. We're way
I
better.
genuinely think we have unique Big Brother takes.
Yeah, meaning we're smarter than everybody else who watches Big Brother.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah,
All right.
I mean that.
Yeah. We should have live feeds of just us hanging out.
What
all
even like that guy from that movie, the documentary?
Yeah,
We Live in
like
Public?
exactly.
Jesus. That'd be crazy. I think Kevin Martin from Big Brother Canada, he's doing that right now. He's like living that
That's
life.
insane. What a maniac. Logan,
Yeah.
Adam's Family next week. Check it out, gang. Keep them hot.
Something cool.